Bloodhounds is a Korean drama that came out on Netflix back in June, which I finally got round to watching, and it's fucking awesome. It seems to be that if you want quality entertainment, then you'll have to look east, because almost everything made in the West is absolute dog shit.
I'm shocked!
The show is a self-contained story all in one season, so there's no need to wait around for a second one. It's one and done, and the show ends in a satisfying manner. It features 8 one-hour episodes that are entertaining to watch, have good pacing, decent comedy, great action scenes, and plenty of serious moments in between. Now, the title Bloodhounds is a term for a certain type of loan shark that will never stop chasing their target. Even if that person has fled abroad, they will eventually get their target. And this plays directly into the development of our main characters. The show is set during the global lockdowns, and it follows a young man called Kim Gun-woo who wants to become a professional boxer. Unfortunately for him, his mother's business is struggling due to being unable to work, as only rich and privileged fucks were allowed to earn money, whilst the rest of us were imprisoned inside of our homes. So due to the brutal conditions on her business and a potential seizure of her home, his mother ends up being swindled by a loan shark called Kim Yong-gil, and now has debt that she is unable to pay back. So Gun-woo and his new friend Hong-woo-jin end up getting dragged into the criminal underworld of loan sharks, extortion, violence and even murder, as they try to stop Kim and his army of henchmen from taking over his mother's shop and preying upon people in a difficult time. Now, I highly recommend you watch the show, as the story only grows into a much bigger conflict, with larger stakes and interesting characters. It has plenty of fight scenes which are fucking excellent, especially when they take on multiple people at the same time. It doesn't look clumsy or have people standing around because they mistimed their cue. No, the choreography is great. The main 2 characters have a background in boxing, and it's represented in their fighting style, which is a nice touch. The acting is also very well done, and the comedic moments don't feel forced. It doesn't rely on the use of references, so as a non-Korean you understand the punchline to most of the jokes. There's also the clever use of lockdowns in this show. Not only does it indirectly affect the characters, but also how they behave. They always wear masks to hide their identity and don't stand out. The streets are empty, so you can have massive 30-man brawls in a subway or giant car chases throughout the street and nobody's around to see it, which feels completely natural because almost no one was out. So as I said before, our main character is Kim Gun-woo, a somewhat awkward person who doesn't have much of a social life. Instead, he spends all of his time at the gym training to be a boxer, and when he's not practicing, he helps his mother out at the store. He is both very well mannered and polite to a fault, but because of this, he doesn't interact with many new people and can come across as a bit naive, even unfriendly at times. He starts the season off with a very plain look, but this changes as the story progresses. He starts coming out of his shell more and gains a bigger perspective, which results in his personality and his image changing. This is due partly because of the criminals he is fighting, but also because of his new friend Hong-woo-jin, who is kind of his opposite. He's way more social, more humorous and more outgoing than Gun-woo is. But he didn't start out that way. Before he met Gun, he was a thug, but when he joined the army, he was given a newfound level of discipline and is now trying to live a better life. Gun-woo helps to keep him on the straight and narrow, as there are several times where he helps him make the correct decision where he may not have otherwise. He also dresses very different. His clothes are more casual, he wears brighter colours, and his hair is unkempt. The 2 main characters are very likeable and complement each other. They also come across as genuine friends, but it's not just them who are good. Not too far in the season, they end up under the employment of President Cho, a moral moneylender who helps them out in exchange for protecting his daughter. He is a positive father figure for the pair of them and comes across as genuinely caring. But when shit hits the fan, his ruthless side comes out, as he was former Yakuza. There is one point about him that doesn't make much sense, and that President Cho is an ethical loan shark, meaning he gives loans out to people who really need them and charges them 0% interest. So with such a terrible business practice, you'd expect Cho to have no money at all, and yet this man is swimming in cash. So much so that he has several locations filled with money and even gold bars. That is how fucking rich he is. I don't know how the fuck you can have any money making such bad business decisions. It doesn't make much sense, but you just have to accept it. It's a minor issue in a great season, as it's both the relationship between his daughter and the main villain that is much more important and interesting about his character. Speaking of the villain, the actor they got to play him is perfectly casted. I mean, look at the smirk the guy makes. This man is one fucking evil looking bastard. And what's good about the character is that every time the heroes manage to injure him or his businesses, he immediately retaliates and fucks them up as well. So this isn't a docile villain. No, he fucks as much as he gets fucked with. He's ruthless, brutal, and an all-round evil cunt, which is enjoyable to watch. The actor who plays him also brings a certain charisma to the character as well, which makes him even better to watch when he goes around the city blackmailing and killing people. He is usually followed around by an enforcer and the only man he trusts, which is this guy, and that's because he acts more like a guard dog and isn't very intelligent. He doesn't really understand the concept of betrayal and is only loyal to him, which says a lot about their relationship. He is incredibly tough and fucks up both Gun-Woo and Hong-Woo Jin very often, so he acts as a sort of mini-boss. He is a two-dimensional powerhouse villain, but some of the best fight scenes involve him. Bloodhounds also has female characters that don't have vile personalities, nor are they Mary Sues, showing the lesser inferior men that girls can get it done. Shockingly, Korea seems to be much more interested in telling a good story rather than lecturing the audience. And even though they do beat some men bigger than them, it's because they use weapons or fight more with their brains than brawns. They never outshine our protagonists and feel both real and grounded. So if you are looking for a one and done show that gives you good action, decent writing, likeable characters and an all round fun time, then watch Bloodhounds on Netflix.